I'm Alex Del Sordo, and with me is Shane Farmer, the founder of Dark Horse Rowing, and we are talking about breakdowns. All right, we're doing Masters Men, Masters Women, Open Men, Open Women, and Shane, tell the audience who you are. Give a breakdown of who you are.
So I'm Shane Farmer. I own Dark Horse Rowing. Dark Horse is the world's largest rowing resource, just point blank. We tend to focus towards the indoor rowing world, and we provide basically training on the entire vertical there. So if you're a coach and you want to learn how to coach rowing to others, or if you're an athlete and you want to learn how to use the machine, that's what we do best. And that's why we're here. Pull it off, because 1 minute is just 1 minute. So when you're looking at splits here, I mean, if we're seeing down in the low one teens, I mean, it's not unheard of and it's not unprecedented to see that pop out here.
And for a guy in his 40s, approach 250, it's impressive, right? Like,
yes,
your engine is just different than anybody else's.
Yeah, 100%. Your engine, your body, it's just built to be able to handle that kind of a load. It's impressive at any age.
I agree. Now, any age, you transitioned me perfectly into a 72-year-old beast, Graham Benton from the UK. I mean, this guy is surprising the field. Now, he has the best handicap right now, right? But at the 1 minute, I mean, I would have to think that we're going to say goodbye to the 72-year-old man this week, because how much power can a 72-year-old produce? Let's be real.
I mean, the real question here is how much old man strength can somebody draw on? I mean, that's the bigger question here, because that's a real thing. I feel like old man strength, that's a legitimate, like, you can lean on that.
Like, he's like old strength. Like, if you're a kid,
just like old man strength stops at 65, and then it's just.
It's gotta be. The last guy I want to talk about is those two guys, and my money tends to be on the older rower, the person who's been doing it the longest with the handicap. In the world of fitness, who has the upper hand here?
When it comes to fitness, it's the person who, in my opinion, has spent enough time becoming the jack of all trades that they can be dangerous in every category. And that's probably what you're going to find as the event plays out, is who has the largest base underneath them. Because there's one thing to be a rower, then there's another to be just a raw strength athlete. It's a whole different ballgame to be able to toe the line between those. So I think that's what you're going to see sort out, is who has done the best job of building a strength foundation and building an erging foundation.
So I'm Alex Del Sordo, and this is our first video breakdown of an incredible event in the Masters Men's category, and we're going to be spending the next 25-30 minutes interviewing individual athletes that are going to be coming on our show over the next couple of minutes. But we're also going to talk about the athletes and bring CJ.
You've got guys who are 68 and 72, and in a few minutes we'll talk to that 72-year-old guy, Graham, and these guys all have a chance. You know, the way it's been set up, the way it's been set up, it is set up so that it is fair for everybody. But again, like we keep talking, it's anybody's game. This isn't really that distance. He won the indoor rowing champ, and we both know that that's 2,000 meters. Graham's fast. But when we get into those 1 minute pieces, or to the 750, I mean, you and I are competing in the open men or the open men's category. You and I don't deserve to compete in the same category, but this race set up this style, I can still hang in there for a minute against some of these guys if I can get into that round.
That's right. I mean, it's obvious as you get older, you don't have that much juice, right? You have the endurance, you still have the endurance, but you can't drop 125 splits in your 70s, unless you're a freak of nature, which we have a couple freaks of nature. I mean, look at Graham Benton, for God's sakes. The second guy coming up on our interview, he's 72 years old and still is the British world champion in the 2K.
Went 3:22 in his 1,000 meter piece.
What did I go to 3:14? I went 3:14 and I'm 34. Like, come on.
That's cool. I hate to even admit this because I fully intend to talk trash to my opponent when we talk to him tomorrow, but it kind of kills me the 72-year-old guy went faster than I did.
Raw time.
Faster than I did.
Handicap, yeah.
You didn't have to beat me.
I love how these guys, men and women, at the age of 65, could still feel competitive and do well. And Graham Welcome to the show. So we had the Mad Brit just on, Nick Holland, and I got to tell you, the guy brings the heat. 60 years old, still pulling incredible scores. But you, sir, are a world and British indoor champion. So I am thrilled to have you part of this.
My pleasure.
So we're going to do all interviews with the same 5 questions. So I want to tell the audience, where do you live, who do you row for, and where, how do you spend your day rowing?
Okay. Well, my name's Graham Benton. I live in Islington in London, which is north of the Thames in London. My rowing club is the Lee Rowing Club, which is about 3 miles further north from here. And they just started getting back on the river.
And how long have you been rowing, Graham? How long have you been?
It's about 1964, something like that.
Just a couple of years.
A long time. It was a long time. Wow. So that's impressive. So out of all the distances that we have in this tournament right now, which would you say is the best distance for you and your style? What are you looking forward to the most?
Goodness. Well, I quite like the 1 minute. Otherwise, probably the 10K. Quite like 10K.
You like 10K. So good thing is you're not doing a 10K in this tournament, but you're doing a 1 minute piece. So that's I like that. Now, what would you say is your biggest competitor going into this tournament right now?
Me, probably. Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate that. I mean, Greg, you are a #1 seed in this tournament, I believe, right? CJ, seed #1, who's the 2 seed? I guess this is the handicap. Is that right?
Yep.
Now, CJ, I know you got a good question for him, so go ahead, give it to him.
Well, kind of based on what we're talking about, and especially if you're your biggest competitor, I want to know what your chances are of winning. How do you feel against the rest of the field?
Well, I don't know the rest of the field, unfortunately. They're not buddies of mine. But...
You got Graham Benton, right, at 47.
Oh, right.
So you're going up against him. But I think you also have Nick Holland, who's 60 years old. CJ, what was his raw time for that piece?
Nick's raw time was 3:07.
So I mean, you've got a lot of speed here, Graham. Is it safe to say that the other Graham still in England is your biggest competitor?
Oh, I would think so. Yes. Yes. If I was thinking more within my age group, but between overall, then Graham, I think, would be the man to beat.
So last question. This is an easy one. Pie in the sky, you win this thing, and you win a couple $1,000. So what are you going to do with the money? What's the plan? What are you going to do with the prize money?
Well, I do need a new seat on my C2. It's seen better days. I didn't notice till I stood it up the other day and thought, oh, okay, I better get a new one.
I love it. The old guys in the tournament, they just need these little things. That's all they care.
Worried about a seat. They're all worried.
Whatever.
We lost one of our stalwart ladies from the club a month ago, I guess now, from cancer, Sally. And they set up a fund for helping to get probably older, more mature rowers back into rowing and to help them overcome the challenges that they might face to achieve that. So I'll probably put some of the money into that.
Well, that actually there's a story there. I appreciate that story. So Graham, we keep all these interviews just to a couple minutes. So here's your chance to say one last thing to the competitors and the people watching the tournament. What do you want to say to all of them?
Be gentle, yes.
You're one of the top times in the whole thing that you're worried about them being gentle to you?
Yeah, geez Louise. I mean, you're a favorite. Well, Graham, thank you for being part of this tournament, and the rest of the people watching. They're going to be tuning in each week to see how well you do, and I hope to have you on the show next week if you advance, which I got to say your chances of advancing are pretty strong. So thank you for being part of it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Graham.
Awesome. Cool. Well, CJ, I gotta tell you, I thought that was pretty fun. Having Nick Holland and Matt Britt and Greg Spill, two guys that could very well win this tournament. What are your thoughts moving forward here? I mean, after hearing what they had to say, where's your head at with this?
I think it's fun the way we started this off, the fact that we had, not only did we do the British edition first, but we had the old guys. We had the 72-year-old, we had the 60-year-old. You know, we're really getting going on this, and it's going to be exciting to talk more to these athletes. And
Come on. And we're going to start to paint that picture, tell the story of how these athletes are training, preparing for these distances. And these guys both said, contradictory to what I thought, the 1 minute piece was their favorite. I was surprised. I thought they would give me something longer. I thought they would say, oh man, the 6 minute piece is all in, but it just seems like rowers are lazy people. And they just want to do the one distance, the minute distance. I don't know. Maybe I'm
those guys just want to do it quick.
and get out. Yeah. And now next up, CJ, and for the rest watching, we're going to be talking to the Masters women's category next. Hope you enjoyed watching another edition of Rower's Choice Athlete Profile Interviews. I'm Alex Del Sordo, and you know who's with me today. It's Andrea Buck from Pocock Racing Shells, and we are talking about just a general overview of what we're seeing. Today is deadline day, and we're talking about Masters categories. Now, Andrea, I'm looking at one specific grouping, and I kind of want your opinion on this. A 76-year-old man against a 42-year-old man. There's not many sports in this world where they can be competitive. And how I'm seeing it, John Alberti, a Washington guy, by the way, rackets work. I think John Alberti might pull this one off. How do you feel about Masters categories and that kind of age gap right now in our tournament?
There's so much pride on the line. I can only imagine how fired up if you're in your 70s, having the opportunity to compete, and older and wiser, man. Those guys are wily. I know I rode with the Ancient Mariners in the Pocock Rowing Center, and they are smart and they are cutthroat. So I would take nothing for granted in terms of being younger, given the level playing field there with the handicap.
That's a really good point. And we're always looking for upsets. And there's another one in here that I'm excited about. Graham Spittle and Nick Whitfield. Now, there's a gap, 72 and 52, 20-year gap, Andrea. And my money is on an upset coming from Nick Whitfield, a 7 seed.
Wow.
I'm just excited, right? Exactly. So my prediction right now in the Masters Man category is the upset's going to be the 11 seed John Alberti and the 7 seed Nick Whitfield. So I'd like to get your kind of feelings